Welcome to the ALTF4 electoral debate for all mayor candidates. Candidates on stage are featuring Simon Sexypants, Chance Adams, and Matthew Revolver. Have all fought an amazing campaign so far on all ends. Zed Parker has dropped out of the race officially as of 2 days ago, and we are here. So congratulations to all for making it thus far. We have around another 1 week, and then official voting will start. I'll be reading off some important rules here you must follow in this debate. Some are kind of unclear, a little grimy, but please take what you will with them. Speak with respect. If a speaker makes a statement, they must be able to provide evidence or plausible reasons to support their statement. Facts presented in the debate must be accurate. Facts presented in this debate must be held in city. Facts in this debate... Oh, scratch that. Speakers may not bring up points in a argumentative rebuttal, if you will. You interrupt a speaker. Actually, I'll say this first. Each speaker gets 4 minutes per question. There will be 5 questions total. Each question you have 4 minutes. Split that in half. At 2 minutes, I'll say barrier. When I say barrier, you are able to interrupt the speaker 1 person at a time. You must raise your hand, and I'll say you're good to go. For instance, if Simon went for the first question, right? He goes first. His 2 minutes are up. He's done speaking by himself. Barrier, he can continue speaking, and if Matthew wishes to interrupt him and say pause, he raises his hand, so you're free to go. Alrighty, any questions? Sounds good.
What's up, Chief Flag Girl?
Okay, so we're going to be going from left to right in alphabetical order. So it'll be Simon going, Chance going first, Matthew going second. Okay, first question will be state of the Unified Police Department and what steps you'll take to support it. Chance, you are free to go.
I've actually run into this issue quite a bit. I just want to make sure everybody can hear me. This is the first time using a megaphone. We all good?
Sound kind of low.
All right, awesome. All right, so I've run into the situation actually quite a bit as a lawyer. You know, the departments are broken down. They've got, you know, they each have their own reserve funds, and it works out to, you know, to kind of split the departments, honestly. Bringing the departments together, you know, most of them actually work around the MRPD area anyways, with, you know, very little reserve for the other departments that are in the city. So having a major headquarters based, whether it's at MRPD or the FIB headquarters, whatever it is, one central location to allow the, you know, the officers to work as a, you know, solid headquarters, rather than trying to, you know, pretend to break it up into, you know, our different counties here. I think, you know, bringing everybody together so we can get on one solid page, build a solid SOP that best supports the citizens and the legal system of our city is important. As for building, you know, the unified structure, I think coming up with a good, you know, solid uniform plan after the fact is as well. You know, separation by uniform is something that does exist. You guys see it all the time. Many of the gangs in the city, you guys don't all wear the same thing, you know, because you're separated. But for the police force, you guys are one unified pact. You guys need to be, you know, working together, and you guys are coordinating with each other. So having a, you know, a uniform that reflects that would also be important.
Barrier.
You guys can feel free to interject. I don't think I've got anything more to say on that.
I fully agree with the words that man said.
So I guess quick question then, are we all getting asked the same question here in the line, or is this all our chance to come out?
Yeah, you're all asking the same question. There's a limit if you would wish to interject if you feel any points are not reached. But you can also move on if Chance feels free to.
Nope, I can go ahead and give up my time.
There you go. Okay. Matthew Revolver, the state of the Unified Police Department and what steps you feel that will improve it. Go.
So I'm heard loud and clear on a microphone. Make sure as well.
Yep.
Beautiful. So the big thing, if you have a universal police department, right? You have cities all throughout the city, cities and gangs, or families and gangs, Jesus, all throughout the city. If you have specific situations, specific areas where those specific cops are always the ones handling things and whatnot, you can get into a rhythm or a rut, right? If you have a universal area, like Chance would say, right, MRPD or the FIB building, you have one universal headquarters. It opens up the opportunity for anyone who never went to a certain area for a call or never went to anywhere else. It allows them to work the same thing. It's give everybody the incentive and almost the excitement to be able to come to work, do their job, and everyone's going to be on a pair. The big thing is, like I said, everyone in the police department, you are one unit, right? You're not 3-4 separate groups. You're not, different whatever. You may have different roles. You may have different leadership groups, but at the end of the day, you're all the police department, right? And we as a city need to understand the police department, if as one big whole, is going to come at us and be a lot more of a solid force as one big unit. When we're thinking about a situation down, as low as, the docks or as high up in Polito, right? Obviously, you still have your closer stations to there, but being able to communicate with your fellow coworkers is something that you're going to need to be able to do in order to fully finish whatever job needs to be done in that situation. A big thing for the PD is needing to make sure that all of them, even if there's 3 cars for a specific call, make sure everybody is doing what they need to do in that situation to get everybody out safely. Because at the end of the day, the police job is to ensure the safety of our citizens and to ensure that they do everything in their specific power to maintain the crime rate. So in a universal police department, you're looking at a much bigger unit, and every single call, instead of thinking, all right, it's 3 people, now have a unit where you could say, hey, these people should go, this group can handle this. And it'll make everything significantly better, and it makes the whole city run smoother when it comes to the gang side of things, when it comes to even small scruffles that need to be broken up. Having one unit will be the way to go.
Thank you very much, Matthew. Would you like to forfeit the rest of your time?
Yeah, I'm good to forfeit the time.
Sounds good. Simon Sexy Pants, the state of the unified and how you will take steps to improve it. Go ahead.
I fully agree with the 2 gentlemen beside me about the part where they all have different divisions, yet they all show up to the same scene. They do everything together. They don't use the other buildings up in Polito or Sandy. It's just all MRPD. Makes no sense why you have so many high up command when in reality you're all the same group and all that. And in the state of PD, let's say, from both sides, I think everyone here can agree that it has been a little W hungry issue, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of W. So, you asked me steps to fix that? The first step already's been taken. With the resignation of Bobby Thompson as chief and moving into Window Pane as chief, I do feel like that professionalism change and all that will affect the PD as a whole, and they'll be a stronger group. Because at the end of the day, they're all taking orders from one man, which calls shots for everything. Another huge issue with the PD is the voice IDing and the fact that they bring the SEU to every single situation, no matter if it's a dusty-ass PDM car, you know? They want the W too much. They want you in jail. They don't want to have fun. They don't want to see it out. They're just here, you know?
How do you do it? Slash what?
Why he playing PDM? Like, what the fuck, bro?
No.
So shout out Window Pane for stepping up and being the new chief. We love you, man.
Amazing.
And we're excited.
Simon Sexy Pants, would you like to forfeit the rest of your time?
Not to over talk here. Sorry. Are we discussing the issues that are with PD, or are we discussing how we would build a unified force? Because I feel like the question there kind of extends past that.
Can you repeat that, please?
Yeah, I feel like Simon's answer there, while he had a lot of really good points there, kind of fell track from what we were actually answering the question for. The question was how we'd build a unified force, not how, what do we think?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, actually,
I love it.
we were asked the state of the UTP or the UPD and
how you can improve it.
Yeah,
and how you're gonna and what steps you'll take.
Awesome.
So that's why I took the next to go above and beyond to answer
Let's
that.
make sure we're speaking after barrier, or else you'll be tagged down on the judge side. All right, next question up. Stand by.
And PDM don't got shitty cars.
Wow, these bitches.
Yeah, my weenie's pretty OP.
Right? He said dusty PDM.
The next question will be gun violence and what steps you'll take to stop it. Starting first will be Chance with 4 minutes. Go ahead.
Sure, gun violence is a major issue. You know, I'm down in the cells all the time. You know, either they're representing someone who got caught up in gun violence, or someone who, you know, or I'm responding to someone at EMS who, you know, is looking to help with their, you know, the payment of everything that's happened because of gun violence. Gun violence is a huge problem in our city. Regardless of how this will turn out tonight or this week, I think major steps need to be taken, and it's going to be taken by every citizen in the city. I've already come up with a plan, and I'm working this out with the district attorney and also the judges in our system to come up with a gun turn-in. We need a way for people to show up and be able to hand over their illegal guns without having to worry about also being, you know, then convicted of a crime. There needs to be some sort of plan to turn in all the guns. There's too much, you know. There's an excess in you know, 3 guns, you know, AKs and automatic rifles, and you know, we see them all around. You know, even casual citizens just kind of walking around with these heavy rifles. We need to come up with a plan where they can safely turn them in.
Barrier.
And, you know, be able to not have to worry. Similar to, you know, kind of like how someone, if they're overdosing, they can still call 911. You know, not have to worry about, you know, getting in trouble for it. They need a way to be able to find themselves getting back in track with the law without having to worry about the major, you know, detriment to their life at that point. So I've come up with a few plans that I'm working with the district attorney on that, so we can come up with a good solid gun turn-in plan. Also, the unified police department that will help. That will, you know, start to come together as one unified force to actually be able to enforce those laws of open carry. A lot of people don't even realize that we're not an open carry state. Even with your, you know, your legal registered firearms, you shouldn't be carrying those around. You know, you find yourself, and the reason we do it is because we find ourselves, you know, in potential threat at any given moment. So with with that unified police force and actually getting people out there to stop those basic crimes, then we can, you know, start to bring down and de-escalate the score of the city here. I feel like we've escalated to a point where kind of everybody feels like they need an Uzi or an AK just to be able to protect themselves. You know, so I think de-escalating, you know, the scenarios between gang violence and police violence needs to, you know, we need to bring that back down.
Okay, next person up. Matthew Revolver. 4 minutes.
The best thing about this campaign so far is I've had the chance to talk with so many people, whether it's owners or employees or anyone that, you know, even if they're still trying to find their footing in the city. And the biggest thing that anyone has told me about issues is gun violence, right? Whether it's issues inside of a business, whether it's someone who's just walking down the street or walking to a garage for their car, you know, everyone has that common fear that any car that turns around the corner could pull up and they could be done for. Gun violence has been one of the biggest issues I've seen in my time here, and there's no doubt in my mind that something big needs to be done. Similar to Chance said, with the Universal PD, it'll be nice to have that full one big unit to be able to help with, even if there's a small situation with someone out and about, someone, you know, even at impound, or someone's just sitting there with a gun, right? There needs to be a situation that gets dealt with where everyone can walk away from it and not be the absolute worst news possible for their loved ones. When it comes to the steps willing to take, like there's so many different ways you can go with it. You can take the route where it's, you know, if a cop's walking down the street and you have a sports bag on, you know, it's or even anything where if you're walking down, you have an Uzi on your back, an AK on your back, or any other weapon that is open to the public, where the police, without hesitation, if they're not on a call, should have and do have the ability to pull over, search, and confiscate. Obviously, there's a huge circulation of weapons throughout the city right now, and that is one thing that really does need to be taken care of. Whether it's something like Chance said, where it's a system where you want to turn your life around, where you want to turn your life around, you want to switch from that life to the legal life, and you want to trade in your guns without warning of a jail time or a fine or anything like that.
Barrier.
Hello?
You can take the chance with police, where it's just in general them just being a lot more forced down on people walking down the street with guns on their back, or if they pull through pill box or something like that, and they see people just hanging around again with weapons out, or trying to bother people and threatening, then there needs to be an issue that gets dealt with. At the end of the day, again, we're all one city, right? We're not separated into different groups. We're all, at the end of the day, we're one city. We want the city to be as safe and as lively as possible, and the is for us to take these steps in order to reduce the gun violence.
How was Jerry, bro?
Would you like to forfeit the rest of your time?
Yes, sir.
Simon Sexy Pants, you'll be going next. Stand by for the question. Gun violence and what steps you'll take to stop it.
It's no mystery that the city is filled with guns to the point where it's probably easier to buy a gun in the city than it is to buy a car. Just like Chance touched on, I have the idea of implementing a gun buyback system through being the government fund working alongside with PD to buy back guns at maybe a 70-80% of stock value to be able to get these guns off the streets. And idea that Matthew said about you can also use it to become a legal man again, because right now in the city it's very, very hard to become legal again. Say you make a mistake and you get arrested and you have on your record, you have to wait a 2-week period, and then you have to wait for a judge to be in city, which quite frankly isn't the easiest thing to do. It's just easier to get back on the street and continue your crime. Another issue with the gun violence is the fact that these legal gun stores are repairing illegal guns, which means that these guns are back on the street. No guns are breaking unless it's on the third. We need to hold these legal businesses uncalled for. We need to hold them accountable for the things they're doing as a legal citizen.
He's in prison.
Also, another thing is PD could to bring into fact of a gun license card that you can get strikes on for using your. Say it's not like you're killing somebody, but you're caught in the act. It's not crazy. You get striked, and then a certain amount of strikes come in, and you forfeit your license, and there's a whole system behind it. But at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure every single person in this room has a firearm. It's ridiculous the fact that you can be in the city for a week and already have AKs and arsenal behind you to just go around shooting people.
How are you gonna help us with that when you're not in the city as much?
Beautiful. Simon Sexy Pants, would you like to forfeit the rest of your time?
Yes, sir.
Amazing. Next question will start shortly. What we will do to implement, since it has gone left to right the last 2 times, flip-flopping. So Simon will be the next 2 questions, and Chance will be going last. Next 2 questions will follow. Stand by. What does being the mayor mean to you, and what does Sunset City mean to you? Simon Sexy Pants, you have 4 minutes. Go ahead.
I mean, I've been here since day one, man. This is my home, and I don't ever see myself leaving this place. In reality, like we're all the same. We are addicted to this city, man. This is our life. We are these people. Being a mayor to me means a lot because since the start, don't want a doggone juice. Since day one, that man claimed to be the mayor. He claimed to be the big honcho around town, but what did he ever do? Absolutely nothing. He was just a face in the reality of being a mayor. He was never a voice. He never bridged to the upper government to anyone's questions or anything. It was all just him. Oh, and he was never in city. I want to be a voice for people that can't get their voice heard. move their opinions up to people that can get it done. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people in here have amazing opinions and amazing ideas that fall short because no one's hearing them. And I've done it all in the city, man. It's no surprise or mystery that these fine gentlemen over here, they know it too. Everyone in here, I've done it all, both walks of life, and it's time for me to step up and help the city become what it fully can be, and prosper and live long. Thank you very much, sir.
Preach. You, Simon Sixpence will be forfeiting the rest of his time. Beautiful. Right on the 2-minute mark. Matthew Revolver, you have 4 minutes. Feel free.
You know, I haven't been here. I didn't fly to this city, you know, as long ago as either side here. But in the time I've been here, I have noticed more love here than anywhere else I've ever been. You know, whether it's my home city, whether it's anywhere else, this has been the one place where I found the best friends, the most love, reconnected with my dad here. The biggest thing, you know, it means the world to me to even be up here standing with these gentlemen and even have, you know, my name on the ballot. You know, to be mayor would just be the icing on the cake. It's, you know, I've had so many ideas in the time I've been here, you know, and when you start from the bottom, like everyone in this room has, your ideas for the first, you know, however long don't mean anything to anybody, right? Nobody knows who you are, nobody cares. You know, a big step in being able to get to that point, you know, if I was mayor, I'd be able to finally have, you know, my voice genuinely be heard to the public. You know, I have friends and family all over the place. You know, I have contacts everywhere. You know, and being able to have those eyes and ears everywhere means that any ideas that anyone has, you know, can come to me. And it's always an open door policy, right? Anytime I'm in city, anytime, you know, my phone's on, anyone is welcome to call me, and I'm happy to listen to their ideas, even if I'm not mayor, right? I'm happy to listen to whatever they have to say. You know, I can do what I can to help them. You know, it just, again, it's the place I found the most comfort, the best friends, and I appreciate each and every one of you for being here today.
Sounds good. Would you like to forfeit the rest of your time?
Yes, sir.
Chance Adams, what does being the mayor mean to you? 4 minutes? Go ahead.
All right, so, you know, being the mayor it's not a position that should be won. It's not a trophy. You know, I didn't go to baseball practice, work real hard, and then all of a sudden I became the mayor. This is a duty that's earned. You know, there's a lot of hard work that's here. Unfortunately, we haven't had a chair, you know, a person to sit in this chair and actually take the duties of this office seriously. You know, it's not just a role that should be used for celebrity press. This is a job working with people, listening to the people. The time spent as mayor shouldn't be going to the, you know, you should be able to go to events and you should be attending events, but it's not the events that are building the, you know, the chair of the mayor. The time spent as mayor should be a hard one. There's a lot of work and a lot of effort that needs to be put in. And if you just started to put that effort in when you announced that you're gonna be running for the race, you're behind the clock. Everybody here puts in so much effort on a day-to-day just to make sure that, you know, the city is working and adjusting and, you know, moving with the times. So, you know, I'm very proud, you know, up here and selected as mayoral candidate. But whether I'm chosen as the mayor or not, it doesn't mean I'm gonna stop working for you. You know, I'm a lawyer in the city. You guys know I've represented pretty much every single group that in the city. At one point or another, you've probably, you know, even worked with me yourself, or, you know, have heard of me working for you. Whether I'm chosen for mayor, that's not going to stop. You know, my duty's always been to this city, and I've always worked hard for this city. And, you know, if I'm chosen to this mayoral chair, I can put forth that effort in a more meaningful manner than what I'm already doing. I don't know. This mayor chair here, it's important, but it shouldn't be just the beginning of your progress to the city and trying to help the city progress.
Well, how present are you gonna be in the city, though?
Sounds good. Thank you. Time's up. Next question will be starting with Simon. Got a lot of cue cards here. So the next actual question we have, let me look through. Stand by. Having connections to all walks of life within the community are good. How does that benefit your campaign? Starting with Simon, 4 minutes.
Say that again, please, sir.
Having connections.
Oh, never mind, bro. My fault.
One second. Let me let the crowd calm down back there. Having connections to all life within the community, bad or good. 4 minutes. Go ahead, Simon.
I feel that it is very good to have connections with everybody in the city due to the fact that you're not representing one group of people as mayor, you're representing the whole community itself. So for me, I personally go out of my way since day one to make connections with every single person that I come across, because I'm a little social butterfly. I like to talk a lot and all that. But I've done, like I said before, I've done it all in the city. I know all walks of life. I go to anywhere and talk to somebody and they'll understand what's going on. To the point where I can't speak for the other two here because Chance, I've known a little bit, but I've never met Matthew before, by the way. Nice to meet you, Matthew.
As well.
I don't see how it would be a bad thing. Yes, there are a lot of people that you might see as bad that you have connections with, but at the same time, that person's still a voice and that person's still the community. So I believe that no matter who the person is, their voice is heard. Because we are one. We are all the same people no matter what you guys do. So to answer the question, yes, it's a very good thing to have connections in the city with every single person for the fact that you work for everybody. You are the people's person.
100%. Thank you, Simon. Would you like to forfeit the rest of your time?
Yes, sir.
Sounds good. Next person up will be Matthew Revolver, 4 minutes. Having connections within all walks of life within the city, bad or good?
So like Simon said there, right, at the end of the day, we're one city, right? Having the connections with, like I was saying earlier, whether you have connections from, a small-time job just trying to, have your footing here, or whether you're a business owner, or whether you're just somebody on the street who's trying to make friends, the connections that you make are always vital in a situation like this, because then no matter who you go to talk to, no matter who you want to get ideas from, you can get ideas from any walk of life. I can walk down to the beach at nighttime and get ideas and talk to people who are just cleaning up the beach and get their ideas. I can go into Benny's or Customs and talk to, right? They see probably more people than anyone else here on a daily basis. Listen to their ideas and talk to them. It's the connections that you have are going to allow you to be inside those situations, right? I have people who I know, from almost any job among the city, multiple families throughout the city. There's people everywhere that I can talk to, and they may have a completely different idea from the person I talked to right before. But at the end of the day, everyone's idea here and everyone's hope is that the city can be as good and as vibrant as we can make it. The aspect of just being able to have anyone from any, like I said, walk of life, any tax bracket, anything, gives you the ability to get ideas from someone who is just looking to, make more money in their 9 to 5, or they're trying to make their business be more on demand, or to, make even just a regular day driving down the street, trying to make that more enjoyable for yourself. Everyone has different ideas here, right? Everyone wants to do their own stuff. Everyone wants to make their own money. Everyone wants to enjoy their time while they're here. And at the end of the day, we're all one city. We all love being here more than anything. And making sure that even, one idea could be completely different from another that you hear from a completely different aspect, but those people...
Time's up.
Jesus.
Chance Adams, 4 minutes.
All right. So, I mean, I've never been a gang leader, so I don't have that, that aspect under my belt. But, I have, like I said in the last question, I'm a lawyer. I've represented everybody here in the city from all walks of life. I think it is important to be able to get that sort of aspect, to be able to apply an unbiased opinion, and suggestion into the city. However, there are separate walks of life. You know, we have lifelong criminals that exist in our city, and we have lifelong police officers, and you know, people that are working at the 24/7 shop and ammunition. We have all of those different cities. So we're, you know, we are one unified city with a collective goal of, you know, we try to have fun and do the best we can. But we are very different groups. A lot of us here have our own, you know, our own goals and agendas, and we have different achievements. You know, I'm a lawyer, and you'd expect me to be very money hungry and trying to charge everybody I can. Anybody that's I've ever represented, I've never asked for a price from them. You know that. So, you know, we all have our own personal goals with the overall idea of trying to achieve some sort of fun here. But, you know, trying to build a city from all those different avenues of life is difficult. It's not going to be easy to appease every single group here. To just, you know, to say that, you know, we'll just listen to everybody is a good political answer, but it's not a very realistic one. But we do need to come up with some sort of symbiotic relationship, such as like the current status of the escalation between PD and the gang members. That's something we need to have an actual sit down. It's crazy to think about, but I've talked about this in the past. Anybody who's listened to me have known that I've said this. Some sort of sit down to come up with some sort of you know, fair play engagement. Everybody's getting upset, you know, from those two avenues, you know, those two major avenues of life, and you know, it's getting worse and worse for people, you know. So we have to come up with some sort of fair play engagement with each other. You know, in other cities, if you have got a lifelong criminal, they go away to jail forever.
Okay. Next question will be, what's your previous services to the city?
One wheel in there. Go on. Pop a wheelie in
Or
there.
your background, and how has it helped people flourish without being the mayor? Starting with Simon Sexy Pants.
Move, fuck. Go on, you in there, do it, go on, you in there.
Pretty much, not right now, because, you know, Pawn Shop's kind of a flop right now, but, back in the day when Pawn Shop was still bussin', helping out the newer community with a place that was able to, you know, sell these items without getting robbed or scammed was a big thing. I'm lucky enough to come from a family of money, able to, you know, help out newer players or people with buying them cars, getting them a house, pointing them in the right direction. I'm all about making sure that they stay in the city and not just little tourists that show up and vanish the next day. Order in the court.
See ya.
352. Get him out of here. Fix that one for me. Somebody.
He already vanished.
Somebody with wings. 352. Fix that for me.
Restart.
Stand by. Yeah, we're gonna give you more time. I'm sorry about that. That guy's gonna be on a lengthy one, man.
Looks like Zed Parker showed up late.
Why was it even?
Let me not. Oh man. Good job, Blackout. Amazing job, security. Doing a great job back there, keeping that bike contained.
They left the motherfucker in the room.
Simon Sexy Pants, I am sorry for the interruption.
Oh, no worries, man.
Let me stand by. Let me get my paper sheet real quick. Cue cards. Would you like to restart on that?
I'd love to. Beautiful. Go ahead and ask me the question again there, sir.
What's your previous service to the city, background, and how has it helped people flourish without being the mayor?
Like I said before I was rudely interrupted by that man on the bike. Back in the day, Pawn Shop, well, as we all know now, Pawn Shop isn't really, you know, it's a flop right now. But back when it was fully functioning, helping out the newer people to the city, be able to have a safe place to sell their items that they worked hard to get, and get cash flow to start building themselves up in the city. Because if Pawn Shop was never there, they had the risk of getting robbed, scammed by all the criminals in the city. Another thing is I come from a wealthy family, you know, I like to help out a lot. So when it comes down to it, meeting new people in the city, I, you know, help them get a car, help them get a house. Just make sure that they're not tourists and make sure that they stay in the city, because the city is one of the better ones out there. And we're all lucky to have this place. So I want people to be able to enjoy their stay here and not just come here for a day and say, okay, I'm flying back home. So just all around keeping everyone happy with with things that I can give to them that won't affect me, and it's just all around grow the community, and I'll have fun together.
Beautiful. Simon Sexy Pants, would you like to forfeit the rest of your time?
Yes, sir.
Beautiful. Matthew Revolver, what's your previous service to the city, background, and how has it helped people flourish without being the mayor?
So as everyone knows, for the longest time, from early on in my days here to now, I was a pilot at the airport. Became management at the airport for some time before I actually own my own business. And the best part with my business is it's a convenience store. So I allow, people who are newer to the city, I walk them through how to make that, a quick little dollar early, show them the way to get down there to the docks, show them all that, and it helps them get a foothold on where they want to go from there. Even back when I was a pilot, right, there'd be countless flights, middle of the night, I've got one passenger on the aircraft, and just being able to have a one-on-one conversation with that person, especially if they're, a newer individual here, I'd have that opportunity to be able to, help them, give them, advice on what I can do. Am I heard?
You could be heard, sir. I could hear you perfectly
You're
fine.
good to go, buddy.
You're good to go?
You're
Okay,
good.
sorry. So even situations like that where someone, came down to the airport because they saw an ad for a flight, and then, walking them through how to get through certain situations there, what to do once you're there, and again, allowing them to get a threshold and, a foot in the ground in this city, which everyone, when you first fly in, that's the first thing you want to do, right? You want to find an aspect of a life here that you're able to live, and you're able to get that instruction to do. And I'm proud to say I feel like I've genuinely been able to do that for countless people who I still have their contacts in my phone, I still talk to this day. And it's incredible to see the growth that some people get because of a small starting job at a convenience store. A month or two later, they're making good money.
Next round will be really crazy. We're just strict on time right now. Next one up will be standby for Chance Adams. What's your previous service to the city, background, and how has it helped people flourish without being the mayor?
Sure. So I'll try to keep this real quick, but to the point. I've been a lawyer in the city for the past 2 months now. Everybody here, changes or working out business contracts. A lot of the staff here, whether it's yourself or even helping Simon clear his record. I've helped everybody in this courtroom in one way or another, whether it's with local businesses, transitioning over to new leadership. Everybody here we've brought up, we help out the people that fly into the city. Literally last night I spent, a couple hours with someone making sure that they're well adjusted. This is the first city they ever came to. I want to make sure that this city is the last city they fly to, because they're going to enjoy their time so much. But I think what we're missing here as a core factor is how are we helping the people that are already well established? Oftentimes you'll find me down at PDM, supporting the business there, or over at Import, making sure that they're not running into any issues. You'll find me at the gun stores, just kind of, observing and hanging out there. I'm a person of the people here. I offer my services for free most of the time. A lot of times people that request my services are they're in a bind when it comes to money anyways, and they're finding themselves in trouble, so they need my services, and I offer them to them for, so that's how I've helped this city, and that's how I've helped, pretty much everybody that's in the city in one way or another.
Amazing, John.
Woo!
Would you like to forfeit the rest of your question, or rest of your time, excuse me?
Yeah.
Okay. We're coming up on our last question, and this one is coming from the judges. This round will be very different from the last. This will have no barriers. If you wish to interrupt 10 seconds after he started speaking, so forth of how you will, be respectful. All response to this question,
I'm gonna love this shit.
shall be factual, present, and liable. No slander, okay? Walls are completely down in this next question. If you feel to debate, argue, you have 4 minutes to do so each. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Sounds good. Oh, so let me. My bad. Let me drink and let me eat my little parfait real quick. I'm on a diet.
I got some wings if you want some, bro.
No, you're good, but that's too much calories.
Prez.
Oh shit.
It'd be funny.
Oh!
Alright, so the next question shall be, what are your two problems overall you foresee yourself being able to fix in the term you are mayor, and what to make those changes, starting with Simon Sexy Pants on the far right. You have 4 minutes, no barrier attached. Have fun.
The two toughest things that I see as being mayor to change? Is that what you said, sir?
Yep. Well, let me be clear. What are your top two problems in the city overall you foresee yourself being able to fix the most?
Easily number one is gun violence, like we already talked on. That is taking over the city like COVID-19 did back in the day. It is ridiculous, the amount of guns and all that, but we already spoke on that. Another thing would be the W-hungry cops, to be honest. I feel like we're moving in the right direction with the PD, and obviously it's not going to happen overnight, but things will change, and things will get better for the city. It's where everyone can have fun and just relax and not get W-keyed all dang day.
Beautiful. Would you like to forfeit the rest of your time, Simon?
Yes, sir.
Amazing, amazing. Matthew Revolver, what are your top two problems overall you foresee yourself being able to fix in the term you are mayor, and what can you offer to those changes?
So the big thing, as Simon spoke on, I think we've all spoken on at some point, is gun
please?
violence, right? We gave our ideas. Again, it makes the city a much safer for anyone, whether this is the city that you have only ever been in, or whether it's a place that you want to call home but you still don't feel safe. And the second is absolutely police accountability. I think at the end of the day, you look around at a simple house robbery, which is still not a legal thing to do, but you see 4, 5, sometimes 6 cops pull up to a single house where it's just one person, and that's just, it's not necessary. Or police officers who you'll see in a random situation where you're driving downtown, or you're driving up in Sunset Hills, and you see 2 or 3 police officers having somebody pulled over for, let's say, a speeding issue, or a a turn violation, and you constantly see an issue where there's not a whole lot of discussion to be had. The police officers are once they have they're very one-track minded at the moment. So once they have their idea, it seems like they already know what the outcome's going to be, and they just play it off as if that's what's going to happen, no matter what the person says, no matter what the reasoning was, no matter anything. And police accountability is going to come from stricter strikes towards our officers, or if you have certain issues with something going on that maybe needs to be adjusted in the SOPs, or if anything happens where an officer is just abusing his power, right? It should be absolutely, whether it's a suspension or a termination or something, to make sure that the police understand that at the end of the day, they need to do their job, but they need to do it in the way that it's meant to be done.
Sounds good. Would you like to forfeit the rest of your time?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty. Chance Adams. Maybe I should 3 minutes. I'm sorry. I kind of cut that one short because no barriers, but go ahead.
All right, so there's the two major things that I want to accomplish is honestly rebuilding Sandy Shores and Paleto Bay. The only time people end up going up there for anything outside of the citizens that are up there and the people that own businesses are for generally some sort of not great activities, if we'll be honest. They've received nothing. There's barely any events up there. We have no sort of attractions up there. So rebuilding Sandy Shores and Paleto Bay is a very accomplishable task that we could do in coordination with Gov. Another thing that I want to do is the reinforcement of the legal system. I asked here, me being a lawyer myself, I know the legal system pretty well. But if I ask anybody here, they're not well adjusted to it. I think rebuilding the legal system so it actually matters to the citizens is an important key factor in establishing a better enforcement of our legal system. So, and I think those two are very accomplishable goals that I could do as mayor. That's all I've got. I'm willing to forfeit my time.
Amazing.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to run out of this. I'm sorry.
Any final comments from any candidate here as we close out this debate? Negative? Amazing.
My hands up, buddy. My hands up.
Oh. Little blind in my right eye, huh? All right, there we go. Mr. Simon Sexy Pants. I apologize.
One thing that wasn't touched on at all in this whole debate that I want to speak on is the fact that we're talking about gun violence a lot and PD and all this stuff, but there's a whole other group that we're not talking about, and that is the legal business owners and the legal business class. I want to wages for all illegal workers so they can actually live a comfortable life without having to turn to the dark side and do crime. Another thing would be, are you ready for this one? Decreased impound fees! And we need it now!
Woo! Here we go.
You got my vote.
I just want to point out, also, before we all leave here, we were threatened by a demonic Chucky doll earlier, and you know, through the kindness of my own heart and sharing, you know,
I'm late.
a similar side, I was able to bring him in
What
and
happened?
you know, turn him to the good side. That was me that took care of that
Well,
today.
did it finish?
I thought you were about to say you were demonic or like some crazy, alrighty. So this will be officially closing out the ALTF4
I'm late, bro.
electoral debate. We appreciate everyone's time here. We appreciate all the effort from all parties of every candidate here. Campaigning, ambassadors.
Apparel work, billboards. It is not gone unnoticed. You guys have done an amazing job running for mayor, and I'll be placing my ballot anonymously later today. Let's go ahead and make some noise for Simon Sexton, Matthew, and
Oh
Chance
yeah,
Adams.
bruh.
Oh, Adams for president.
Let's go, Simon.